Is it going, everybody? Happy Monday. Happy NFL news live stream here. It's been a while since we've just been live in the middle of the day talking about football, and this is going to be essentially an impromptu Lombardi sweep episode. If you are unfamiliar with Lombardi sweep, it is a Green Bay Packers podcast hosted, presented by Flurry Sports. So if you're watching this as a stream live right now, if you're watching this on YouTube, just know you can get the Lombardi Sweep podcast anywhere you listen to podcasts. Please go subscribe there. And if you're listening to this as the podcast, definitely go and join the Flurry Sports YouTube channel. Subscribe to the Flurry Sports YouTube channel so you do not miss any more streams like this. So you can jump in the chat. So you can, catch up on all of the other content that we are creating, and you can help us get over that 12K hump. Last I checked, we were like 5 away. If we're not there yet, definitely go to the Flurry Sports YouTube channel and get us over 12K before the end of the stream. But of course, let's talk about some Green Bay Packers news. Couple things obviously happened, and the legal tampering period is now open. So essentially, NFL free agency is open. Only thing we can't do is put pen to paper for the outgoing free agents, but we're seeing all these deals announced. Packers fans, I assume the majority were like, okay, Packers are going to be in the mix for some of these guys, as they always are, which usually means a low ball offer. But we're not going to actually see the Packers get new players, get and sign free agents early on. However, that's not the case. The Packers actually were in the news. We got all-pro running back Josh Jacobs, and there's a lot of feelings I think Packer fans should have here, right? Let's just start with the basic level, what we know is going to happen, right? So Josh Jacobs joins the Packers. He is going to be an early down guy. He is going to be a short yardage guy. He can certainly catch the football as well. Really good in between the tackles runner. This means for sure AJ Dillon's gone. And, if you've listened to Lombardi Sweep over the past few years, I'm certainly happy about that. He is certainly an upgrade from AJ Dillon as well, by the way. So let's get that out of the way. AJ Dillon, see you later. Get those big thighs out of here. Mayor of Door County, supposedly. Who cares? No one needs you here. Now, the backfield as it currently stands, essentially, right? We're not going to talk about all the backups, but we got Aaron Jones. We got Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs, I believe the 2022 first team All-Pro, only time he made an All-Pro team. That year, he was phenomenal. Obviously, the Raiders were trying to run him into the ground and then get rid of him, essentially. He had nearly 400 touches. I think he was like single digits away from 400 touches, and he played really well. He is certainly a volume running back who plays really well, gets better as the game gets going. The more touches he gets, the more he can wear down that defense, right? So after the 400 touches last year, then he still averaged over 20 touches per game. Again, that's a lot of wear and tear. He ended up missing 4 games. Could he have played some of those games? Probably, but obviously on an expiring contract for a bad team. Are you really going to put your body out there after you did so already the year before? Again, over or almost 400 touches, which is stupid amount. So what everyone's saying right now, and what is probably the most likely to happen, is that Aaron Jones, Josh Jacobs are co-heading that backfield for the Packers. 2 good, established veteran running backs. You can certainly trust them. They can certainly be productive. Probably a 50-50 split, right? Now, my concern with this is Aaron Jones and Josh Jacobs have proven that they are better as the game goes along. They are guys who need to get in a rhythm. They are guys who need to get the ball to really be effective. So if we limit their touches, we're limiting their effectiveness. I don't love that personally. And it just doesn't feel like a full fit to me, right? And this is my major concern. There's another concern that's possible later. We'll talk about it. It could be bad news. But a team needs to be cohesive. A backfield needs to be cohesive. We see this committee approach because everyone has this specialized skill set. If we have two guys who really are going to be the bulk runners, they're known bell cows, right? They're really good once they get touches. You see that third quarter, fourth quarter, they really start to wear the defense down. They're extremely good. They finish runs falling forward, all of that. We don't really get that if they are co-heading, splitting that backfield. So that could be an issue for the Packers. That could be an issue for this uh, cohesive backfield. But, if it works out, it's going to work out really well. If it doesn't work out, we have two guys that are probably getting paid a lot of money that are ineffective, is what it is. Whatever. Also, we got the Josh Jacobs wear and tear, injury prone, possibly the thing I just talked about. Again, I'm going to really gloss over this because I don't think it's really fair to say, but it is something that should be at least brought up. 400 touches, then over 20 touches per game, gets hurt. Aaron Jones notably can never stay healthy. He always has those hamstring issues. So if we're trusting both of these guys to really lead the backfield, maybe the reduced workload obviously keeps both healthy, or maybe it makes them both ineffective and they still get hurt. Then the Packers are really screwed. Those are the two scenarios there. Is what it is. We'll use this next little topic to transition to the salary cap, but we came into this offseason with two running back questions, right? Will the Packers bring back A.J. Dillon? I was here crossing my fingers. They weren't. Looks like he's gone. Great. Then last offseason, we saw Aaron Jones take a pay cut to willingly stay with the Packers. This year, the Packers absolutely need to still address his contract. And before doing so, they signed Josh Jacobs. Looking at it right now, Aaron Jones has a $17.5 million cap hit this year. So this Josh Jacobs signing could be a threat to Aaron Jones and his representation. Like, hey, we have an all-pro. If you want to be a Packer, if you really want to be a Packer for life, if you want to carry the G, right? If you want to stay on the team, you're going to take the pay cut. You're going to take what we want you to take. Little scummy. Packers organization has done that time and time again with veterans already. So to say that this isn't possible would be foolish. That's probably happening. The other thing is, if Aaron Jones still says, no, I took a pay cut for you already, why do I have to do it again? If Aaron Jones is a post June 1st designated cut, Packers would save nearly $12 million. So Packer fans are super juiced, super excited that we got the Packers making moves for relevant players, and we got a backfield of Aaron Jones and Josh Jacobs. But this all could very quickly, come to a halt, smack into the cement wall, rain on Packer fans' parade if this Josh Jacobs signing isn't to pair him with Aaron Jones. It could be to replace Aaron Jones. How big of a kick in the nuts would it be if the Packers then go cut Aaron Jones, sign back A.J. Dillon, say fuck you to Zach Bruner in the Lombardi Sweep podcast? Have a nice day. Is that the most likely scenario? I don't think so. I think the most likely scenario is it's a threat, it's leverage to use against Aaron Jones so he takes less money. That's most likely what's happening. But it could be the replacement, and that would blow. That would be absolutely terrible. Aaron Jones, obviously, massive fan favorite. I can't imagine anybody would be super juiced about that being the case. Now, by the way, people watching, if you have any questions, any comments, how you feel about the move, how you feel about Aaron Jones, how you feel about the Packers, go ahead and put those in chat and I will read them off. If you're on Twitter, I think you have to click into the video to type. If you just reply to the tweet, I don't think it shows up. Now, let's just talk about the other two big moves that the Packers have made to free up salary cap, and then we'll answer questions if there are any. Otherwise, we'll just get out of here. We don't need to waste everybody's time today. Now, a few days ago, a couple days ago, Packers announced that they would be releasing Devondre Campbell. And then today we get that big message from David Bakhtiari that he would no longer be a Packer as well. Bakhtiari cut is for sure less surprising than the Devondre Campbell, but I think both were probably expected. Bakhtiari straight up a straight up cut, whatever. And that has already happened. You can see that reflected in the salary cap. It kind of sucks because he was such a obviously phenomenal player, great guy. Injuries just derailed his career, and he's a guy who continually kicked the can down the road for the Packers and played to the Packers rules, taking pay cuts, helping them out time and time again. And then at the end, he gets cut anyway. So the Packers save nearly $21 million to cut him. Now, don't feel too bad. Obviously, he still has a $19 million debt in dead money. So if he never plays football again, Packers still give him $19 million. Hard to feel too bad for the guy. But yeah, it's a $21 million cap savings essentially before the Josh Jacobs signing. Obviously, that's not in place. We don't know the terms of that yet either. Before that signing, that would bring the Packers salary cap to $33.7 million in free money, about average, right in the middle of the league. The other thing the Packers are doing is they are releasing veteran linebacker Devondre Campbell, and tons of mixed feelings on Devondre Campbell, all very warranted, I would say. On one hand, he is certainly a defensive leader, a veteran, one of the very few established linebackers the Packers have had over the past nearly a decade at this point. And switching to the 4-3, I think he could have really used his skill set better as an inside linebacker in a 4-3 than a 3-4. But it is what it is. On the other hand, we remember him kind of calling out the Packers a little bit, seemingly more so Joe Barry, but it is what it is. Basically sitting out, kind of quitting publicly on his team is what it appeared. Is that really what's happening? I don't know. That's what it appeared. That's what he put out there on social media. So a lot of people have a bitter taste in their mouths because of that. Obviously, before that entire situation on Lombardi Sweep, I broke down how he was just not playing like he usually does. I was never a guy who said he was good in pass coverage. I actually don't know where that came from, other than one person posting a video on Twitter and people listening to him when it's not true. But I digress. He just wasn't really like feeling like his run fit was terrible. He wasn't trusting his eyes. He wasn't feeling where he was supposed to. Now, if he has less responsibilities and he's playing a 4-3 inside, then I think he probably could have been better. Regardless, he is cut. He is gone. His salary is still on the books because he is going to be a post-June 1st designation cut. And what that essentially means is if the Packers wanted to cut him today, let me look at this. That is trade. If the Packers cut him today, he would be an $11.5 million dead cap, and they would save $2.5 million. However, if we designate him as a post-June 1st cut, that just means we carry his salary until June 2nd. Then he will be off the books. He is free to go talk with and sign with other teams now. But designating him as a post-June 1st cut is going to save the Packers $10.5 million. And every team gets 2 designated post June 1st cuts. That, again, just means they are going to be cleared later in the future. So with that $10.5 million, that would add to the Packers 33.7. So we're looking at around $44 million if my math is correct. 44 million minus whatever the Packers are going to be paying Josh Jacobs. So now, where do we go from here? Again, Aaron Jones, $17.5 million dead cap. They are probably going to restructure that and lower his cap hit. They could theoretically just eat it. That feels like a move for a team that's not trying to compete, which, if the Packers are self-aware, then I think that's fair. I don't think they are, though. But they could also restructure Aaron Jones and drive that number down even more, save the Packers even more money, or they could straight up cut him, right? And save the Packers, what was it, post-June 1st, $11.8 million. Packers are still going to restructure, extend Jordan Love, probably break him off. So he is going to eat up a bunch of that money. And there's other things that are going to happen, but we will see what the Packers do. You would think they would look to that linebacker market with Devondre Campbell gone. We'll see how much money they're willing to spend there. If they go for a solid veteran starter, I would assume it's around $10 million. But they certainly have the room for that. Bring the chat back up. Luke says Calvin Ridley next. I mean, he would be terrible in Green Bay, but that would be something. Calvin Ridley's going to go get his money, and rightfully so. It sounded like he lost some of it betting, and he needs that parlay cash, as do I. Otherwise, if you guys have any other questions, any other comments, what do you guys think the Packers do? Maybe other free agency moves or what they do with Aaron Jones. I would love to know that as well. Again, I don't want to seem negative. I assume the Packers are using this as leverage to threaten to use against Aaron Jones and his rep. So he restructures his deal, is with the Packers longer, but has a lower cap hit for this year. I assume that's what happens. That's scenario one. Scenario two is the Packers just eat that full $17.5 million. He's on the books for this year, and then we'll see next year. They have the room to do so. So we'll see. Third is the Packers saved nearly $12 million to cut Aaron Jones. And this Josh Jacobs move was not to pair him with Aaron Jones, but to replace him. Boy, that would suck, but it does feel very Gutekunst to do something like that. But we shall see. We shall see. Go subscribe to Lombardi Sweep, by the way. Green Bay Packers podcast, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Audible, Google Podcasts, wherever you listen. Go subscribe there. We probably will have another show later this week, Tuesday, Wednesday, something talking about other Packers free agency moves, assuming that will happen. Otherwise, talking about moves we want to see. And by the way, draft season's here. If you're just starting to look at draft prospects now, starting to watch film now, you are a couple months behind, I would say. But we'll be doing some mock drafts. We'll be doing stuff like that. Probably mock draft Monday will be coming back for the Packers as well. So again, subscribe to the Flurry Sports YouTube channel so you can watch along with us live. Randy in the chat, what's up, my man? Patriots straight Mac Jones for a 6th-round pick. Yeah, Mac Jones goes back home to Jacksonville, gets to back up Trevor Lawrence there for a 6th-round pick. Certainly interesting. Certainly interesting. I think Mac Jones has good football left in him, but he has a lot of maturing to do. And I think being there with Doug Peterson is certainly good. Doug Peterson, obviously notable backup to Brett Favre. Like, he can teach Mac Jones how to be a backup, how to be a professional. And I think that could be really good for him. It wouldn't surprise me. Mac Jones plays out his contract there, just kind of learns and grows. And then he gets another shot to compete for a starting gig and is fine. He feels Matt Ryan-esque. If you think that's good, then maybe he's a good player. If you think that's average, then you're probably right. Luke says Willie Gay. Willie Gay's a stud. I would love for him to come to Green Bay. I think Jewel, if I'm saying his name correctly, is a potential addition. Packers need to figure out what they want to do, though. Like what are we doing with Quay Walker? Is he going to be trained as an outside in a 4-3 now? If that's the case, Packers need to really who the fuck's going to play the other outside is a big question. What are we going to do for inside? Certainly can't be Isaiah McDuffie. Hopefully that's not option A. That should be option C or D. That's a further backup plan. He's fine, but he's a depth guy. Or do we train Quay Walker to be inside, and then all of a sudden we are in need of 2 outside guys, which I feel like are harder to find in the NFL currently, in today's football. But we shall see. Looking forward to more content. Appreciate you, Randy. Lots coming. And if you haven't watched it yet, we have 2 up right now on the Flurry Sports YouTube channel, and you can find it on anywhere you listen to podcasts as well. The Ranking Show, live every single Wednesday night, where we rank anything and everything. And Randy, you were a big inspiration, I would say, behind this show. We are ranking anything and everything, and that means more than sports. We are ranking foods. We're ranking anything. So all the questions you like to ask will certainly be just looking at my phone for new uh notifications here. I'm not seeing anything. But um yeah, we're ranking anything and everything. Packers released a DT, I think. I'm not seeing that. If that's the case, let me know. I'm seeing that the Packers outbid outbid the Raiders for Josh Jacobs. Let me see if that means we know what the contract details are. Because if it's a big contract, obviously has to be bigger than what the Raiders were willing to pay. If it's a big contract, I think that points to even further, possibly, that Josh Jacobs is more of a replacement than in addition. You know what I mean? You don't pay somebody to split carries unless you're bad with money, which the Packers are. So, I mean, it's possible. It is possible. I'm not seeing any details yet, but supposedly the Packers outbid the Raiders. What's that mean? It means absolutely nothing. Um, you know, did we outbid them in money or did we outbid them in love? Who knows? Who knows? But I'm going to get out of here. I don't need to be sitting on here all day. Appreciate you, Randy. Appreciate everybody watching. Definitely subscribe to the Flurry Sports YouTube channel. Let me do that really quick. Are we over 12K? If we're not, everyone go over there right now and subscribe to the Flurry Sports YouTube channel. We are at 11,999. Need one person. Need one person. Go subscribe to the Flurry Sports YouTube channel. You can be number 12K. Please do that. Subscribe to the Lombardi Sweep podcast anywhere you listen to podcasts. And Randy David Bakhtiari is released. You can watch the stream back on YouTube and probably the VOD on Twitch where you are too. Already talked about that. But yeah, David Bakhtiari gone. Packers saved themselves $20 million roughly. But yeah, we will see you guys soon. Possibly tomorrow night or Wednesday, but we will be back soon. Jones, Jacobs, the new Bennett Levens. No. No. But hopefully both Jones and Jacobs are on the team.